Hello, Pisces. Thank you so much for being here, you guys. All right, Pisces, this is a little bit difficult, and like I always say, it may not be for everyone. But you have jealousy, envy, punishment, and changing course, and then never-ending story. Let's talk about never-ending story first. This is about self-criticism, the wounded ego, and unnecessary dramas. It is the story that you keep telling yourself about how you are not worthy. Now, the other part of this, though, especially with jealousy, is you could be giving into fear and envy and greed and this perception of victimhood. But the thing is that with jealousy, it's about other people making you feel bad or wanting to punish you and making you feel like you are not worthy of the things that you have in your life. And to that, I would say, if you continue to beat yourself down and think that other people are right, then that must become your experience, right? You can't keep telling this same story over and over again about how you're not deserving, and that's why you're not seeing the good things in your life. It's almost like every time something good does happen, somebody is changing your perception on that and making you feel like it's not that great. It bothers me, and it bothers me tremendously because it's almost like dealing with people who look at the golden rule and think it's just some tale you tell kids to behave, right? When it's in every fucking religion. Taoism, Buddhism, Judaism, Christianity, Islam. It's all the same thing. Treat others the way that you would want to be treated. But unfortunately, Pisces, you may be in a situation where you're taking that victimhood mentality. And I would say that now is the time to change that story. Stop surrounding yourself with people who want to make you feel bad for the good things that you have in your life. Now, what got me was looking at moonology. So basically this situation is going to come to a breaking point. So the full moon in Aries, the fiery climax approaches. And what's interesting here is that it's telling you that you need to be nice, be kind, smile, and be polite as you navigate to where you want to be. Don't play into any kind of drama that somebody may be trying to create. It says be assertive, but it also says if you are in a tense situation, meditate your way to peace. And then it says don't be a baby. Sorry, but this could be the issue, right? Don't take that victimhood mentality. Don't do that to yourself. Here's your overall, the Five of Pentacles. Okay, so for some of you, it could be about getting out of a difficult situation here. Some of you may be struggling financially. For others of you, it's you're being pushed out by other people, which can be the case. But whatever difficult changes you're dealing with right now, it's only temporary. It's really about you needing to get yourself out of this situation. Now, this could also be you feeling like you've been left empty-handed or feeling like you have nothing that you can give to change your situation. But we'll see here. Now, in the past, the Fool. And that could just be you straight up taking a leap of faith on something, and with the Five of Pentacles being the overall, it not being such a great thing. You know, taking a big risk here, wanting to take a new path in your life. But again, it's only temporary, right? Okay, so in the present, the Three of Wands. So now you may be looking, though, to see what else is available to you. You know, I look at the Three of Wands in this case as if you've taken a leap of faith on something, it could be that you're waiting to see how things are going to develop before you do anything else. But if you're dealing with this feeling of not knowing or not being in the know or being rejected, then this could be you looking at, you know, the other options that you have available or waiting to kind of see what else is open to you. You know, but with the Three of Wands here, you know, you've already kind of set things into motion. But I think it's more about expectation, though. You know, it's almost like saying, I went ahead and I did what I needed to do. Where is my return? You know? Yeah. And then future conditions, the Eight of Cups here, it's like, I can't do this anymore. I have nothing left to give with the Five of Pentacles, right? Now, leaving this situation may put you in financial strain. You know, especially if this is about a business opportunity or something new that you're doing in terms of business or work. You know, it could be one of those things where you just jumped on it, but things may not be going the way that you had expected. And with the Eight of Cups now, you're getting to the point where it's time to stop. right? But leaving this and walking away and moving on, you're not really sure where you're going or what's going to happen next. But like I said, the Five of Pentacles is only temporary here. Now, this could be work or a relationship. Your best path to follow, the Queen of Swords. Interesting. I don't know if you guys can hear that, but man, the coyotes are going nuts outside tonight. That or it's foxes. Anyway, I'm sitting by my window listening to this while I'm doing a reading. Like, damn, man, where's that coming from? The Queen of Swords is your best path to follow. I think that this is you needing to turn, like literally turning your back on someone or something that has been depleting you. But I also look at this and think, you know, be careful about how you continue to like treat others based on what you experienced. Again, kind of going back to the full moon in Aries. But then I also think that this is you needing to get down to the truth. You know, she doesn't play games. The Queen of Swords is fucking intelligent, super intelligent. But she also does not have any tolerance or patience for others that would try to manipulate her, especially emotionally. That doesn't work with her. You know, but the other thing though too is when you look at her, right, she's been through a lot of shit. And clearly this is what you're going through right now, right? It's something difficult. It's not easy. But how are you going to let this experience determine the person that you are in the future? You know? But then again, right, like, don't play games with anybody, you know? Don't allow yourself to be in a situation where you can be taken advantage of, you know? And make sure that when you're communicating with anybody, you're getting the truth. You're getting the clear story, you know? But there was something else I think that you were expecting to show up or happen here with the Three of Wands. Okay. In your environment, strength, right? So it's getting to the point now where you need to find the strength to move on. And that's basically it, right? Finding the strength to say, okay, I took a leap with this, but maybe this wasn't right for me, you know? You gave it everything you could, Pisces. But with the Five of Pentacles, if you're not, you know, feeling abundant, then yeah, right? We need to find the strength to move on. Okay, and again, like going back to this whole thing with needing to have clarity and needing to have the truth. So here's kind of what I'm feeling around this. Clearly things are not going the way that you expected. I think that you went in all the way with the Fool. There was no hesitation in the past, but this is one of those situations where, you know, clearly you're going to feel like something big has been taken from you, you know, but I think you're going to be hurt more so emotionally than you will be in the physical sense in terms of money. But I look at you and think that, you know, you're trying to find the strength to kind of like bounce back from this. You know, it may have been a business plan or an idea, or like trying to expand a business, right? But it not going very well and costing you more in the long run, you know? And there's like this whole thing of not wanting to abandon it. Now, on the other hand, if you have taken a huge leap of faith on someone and they have left you and they've left you in a place where you feel rejected, you don't feel like you have anything to show for this, and you made a huge leap of faith on this, I'm telling you, there's a part of this where you're going to want to find out what the truth is. You're going to want some clarity on this. I don't blame you for being really upset and wanting to beat some ass. But the thing is if you don't get the truth and you don't get that clarity, can you still move on, or are you going to stay stuck? Right? So there could be a couple of different things that's happening here. But basically, you took a huge leap of faith on something. You're trying to find the strength to kind of hang in there and wait to see how things are going to develop, but you get into this place where you realize that you're being left empty-handed and it's time to move on. But this isn't something that you should continue to like harbor or hang on to, you know? Can you accept the truth that maybe this wasn't the right thing for you to do or right situation to get involved with? If that makes sense. And then coming out the Three of Pentacles. Now, this could literally be a different situation for you coming out where you may be getting some assistance with the Five of Pentacles, right? Because it can show that, you know, You're either getting yourself out of this situation, or with the Three of Pentacles here, somebody may be helping you kind of start putting in your effort towards something else. You could start working on something new here. But with the Three of Pentacles, right, it is a new project. Now, it could be that somebody is wanting to work things out with you, but it's really about the effort that's being put through here. Are they putting in the same amount of effort as you? Now, and again, like in terms of work, this could literally be that somebody is recognizing your skills and talents, and a new opportunity is coming up for you to be able to do that. But unfortunately, something else didn't work out or didn't go as expected. This could definitely be about the person that you're dealing with the Emperor, and they may have had a little bit too much control, right? Because one of the things that I ask with that is, who is really in control here? If you were fully in control, I don't think that you would have just willy-nilly taken a leap of faith on something that, you didn't know for sure if it was going to work out or not. I think that there was every intention of this situation working out. But you very clearly are being the one that's being depleted emotionally and being left empty-handed. Now, with the Knight of Pentacles, this is where I think things start to slow down. And there's not a whole lot of progress being made, but yet at the same time, you're still trying to hang in there. But then looking at, the Page of Pentacles coming out, this could be one of those things where this is really good news coming through from a different opportunity, a new start for you. You learn something new, you start on a different project, you leave an old business idea behind, or business partnership for that matter. You may have put a lot of heart and soul into it, but it's just not working out. But you're able to kind of like pick yourself back up. Now, if it was about work partnerships, right, this may be where you're a little bit more critical about who you get involved with in terms of work. Now, if we're talking about relationship, though, again, this could definitely be about somebody who is wanting to work with you, wanting to get things back on track, right, wanting to work things out. But again, it's about working together, needing to put in the same amount of effort here. But I like it in terms of work and finances, because even though you may be looking at the Five of Pentacles right now, where you come out at may be a little bit better. And that Emperor, though, may be a good thing coming through. There may be a little bit more stability that's being offered to you through a new opportunity. And this may be something where, there are a lot of skills that you need to learn here with the Page of Pentacles, but this is good, right? In terms of work, business, financial struggles, things like that. But clearly here, something did not develop the way that you wanted it to, but there's something better that's coming out in the end, I think. But I think that you're going to be by far more critical about who you get involved with, and making sure that all the details are clear before you invest anything again. Once you find some tranquility and some peace out of this situation, you need to surrender to your passions and follow them. And that's basically what that is. But it doesn't look bad at all, Pisces. You come into this really difficult, but you look better coming out. Unfortunately, I would like to say that with the Three of Wands that, it's something that develops the way that you want it to. But with the Eight of Cups, it just, you're going to get to the point where you're going to have to realize that it's not worth your investment anymore. But I still see something better coming out, and you learning, though, and using that information with the Page of Pentacles. But it may be creating this situation where you're being recognized by, like a different group of people, right? But don't ever give up on your passion, And it may be that you just need some new ideas here with the Ace of Swords. But I do think that with the Queen of Swords, you become a little bit more shrewd, I think, when it comes to people that you deal with. But don't be too harsh, right? And then I love you. These are very important words. Now, if this is just about business, your partner and the spiritual connection that you have with your partner and being able to express love, I think, is what's going to make things better for you. Now, your partner may be the best person to work with right now to kind of get your ideas off the ground and going, rather than maybe somebody else who doesn't share in your passion or your idea, right? But I look at spiritual connection and think that for those of you who are single here, you might be meeting somebody where it may be really easy for you to say, I love you to them because of the connection that you have, right? But as far as love goes, it looks really good. I just think that, in terms of business here, things are just a little bit rough. I think that you had beautiful intentions coming into this with the Fool, but things don't go as expected. You're going to have to find your strength to continue in a very different way. Stop investing in it in the way that you have been. That's creating this feeling of, I have nothing to show for everything that I've done. And be open to, clarity, new, fresh ideas, things like that, and maybe some different people to work with. But other than that, right, I think that things are going to be better for you, but don't keep telling the same story of, nothing ever works out, or, being envious of what other people have. Don't do that to yourself, right? Work on the things that you want to achieve. Don't ever give up on your passions. But you need to find some peace and tranquility before picking it up again, I think, right? But everything is getting ready to hit a breaking point where it's got to get better. It's got to get better.